We are talking about setting up your calendar for fall. So, there are definitely times where there is a natural shift in just time of year, right? Typically, right now, we are all thinking, especially this year with COVID, we're thinking, what is fall going to look like? How am I going to set this up? What are we going to do with the kids being home, not home, etc. Okay. So, in my book, The Implementation Code, which if you haven't grabbed yet, go get. It's still free. You just pay the shipping and handling. Implementationcode.co/free book. We talk about the importance of 90-day goals versus 365, right? Annual goals are great. They work, but they are definitely not as effective as setting up 90-day goals, especially with COVID, right? We can't even predict what is going to happen. Somebody's like, oh, what are you planning to do for your mastermind retreats in 2021? That feels so far away. It's hard to even guess where we're going to be or what's going to be happening. So, I want to talk about what we can do and what we can plan as you're looking at your calendar for the year. So, here's what I want to do. I'm going to do two parts. So, step one, what do you know? What do you think is happening right now? And maybe you're really up in the air where your school has still not said anything and you absolutely have no idea what is going to be going on. Here's what I would say. I want you to plan in two parts, best case scenario or worst case scenario, so you are completely prepared, okay? So I'm going to kind of brain dump a little bit of what, or I have a brain dump of what I worked through to show you how you can do this for yourself, okay? So first, I know the kids will be leaving every day. They are actually going, you're going to be jealous, but my kids, as of right now, are going in person 5 days a week. Who knows how long that will last, but they will be going. So, and they start already next week, Monday. Okay. So knowing that, I know they're going to be leaving the house at 8:15 every day. And basically, I will be kid free from 8:15 to 3. That is a lot. This is going to be a game changer year for us with Tegan now being in kindergarten. So my youngest is finally going to full day school. So we're really looking forward to having some consistency. I've been the mom with the kids being in and out of the house all day. So this will be a lot easier. So first, figure out who is picking up, who is dropping off. So this is something where when people always say to me like, oh, I don't know who's getting my kids today, or I don't know who's, getting the groceries, or I don't know who's getting fill in the blank. I want to make sure that you are setting up systems where you don't have to even have the Sunday meeting. People will say, we do a Sunday meeting every Sunday to discuss like who is doing what this week or what we have going on. We don't have a Sunday meeting in my house because we just have a calendar and everything's on the calendar and we have rhythms and routines. And this is a lifesaver, okay? So, I'm so glad to see so many people loving this topic right now. Feel free to comment, share with me what you're going through, what's happening, and if I can help, we'll do some Q&A at the end, okay? So, with that said, Kent takes to school every single morning and I'm picking up every single afternoon, okay? There is no discussing who's getting who or what's happening or can you do this or can you run there? We just have it in our calendar. So that means that at 8:15 they'll be out of the house and I'm still home. I'll be basically getting ready from 8:15 to 9 every morning. So my working hours look like 9 to 3 Monday through Friday, okay? This is not for you to be like, oh, I'm supposed to be working this much too, or whoa, I'm working way more than her. You do what's good for you and what feels right for your family and your business. Okay. So for me, 9 to 3, I should have zero problem getting my work done from 9 to 3, Monday through Friday in both of my businesses. It's pretty much what I've been doing, fairly typical for probably the last year or so. In fact, I feel like I'm getting an upgrade because Tegan was only half day at school last year. So anyway, knowing that, I then ask myself, where is my focus going to be this fall? What does this look like? What big projects do I have on my plate? Where am I heading? What am I launching? What am I trying to promote? Okay. What is my bestseller going to be this fall? Hi, Martine. So, knowing that, I start to set up my calendar. Now, the things that I work on in my business, I have a lot of team meetings. The bigger your team gets, the more you meet with them, right? It's funny because people will say in the coaching world, like, oh, I don't want to do one-on-one calls, or I don't want to. Well, eventually you may not do one-on-one calls, but you'll do one-on-one calls with your team. You'll do them with departments, etc. So I have lots of team meetings on my calendar. Team meetings, I have podcast interviews, content creation for my programs, for my podcast, etc. So I start to map out like what has to get done, and it starts to become process of elimination. I start to see like, wow, I don't have time to do X, Y, and Z because these are most important and this has to get done first. So I basically blocked out all of my mornings, Monday through Friday, to work on my projects. I shouldn't say Mondays because Monday mornings we do team meetings pretty much from like 9 a.m. and I probably don't get off until at least like 11 or so. So my point with that is Tuesday through Friday, I've got time to work on big projects. No appointments are being scheduled. And then in the afternoons is when I'm trying to batch and schedule all of content creation, recordings, podcasts, team meetings, you name it. Okay. So, with that said, I now look at my morning routine. My morning routine is very, very, very important to me. I don't know. Do you have a morning routine? Do you do something before the kids wake up? Time to yourself if you have a significant other. For me, right now, it's been about 6 a.m. But because the kids don't have to like be up and like get ready and do all the things, it's not been as structured as it will have to be starting next week, Monday. Okay. So, with that said, I was looking at, is 6 o'clock going to be early enough for me to wake up? Like, is this going to work with what I want to get in? So, I want to meditate. I want to read a few pages. I want to work out. I do about a 30-minute workout. I now have a sauna that I want to do a few times per week, different things like that. So, I started to look and I'm like, you know what? I will be able to squeeze those things in no problem from 6 until about 7:30 every morning, so that 7:30 to 8:15 I'm with the kids getting them ready. Yes, Kent could be getting them ready, but I want to still have time with them where I feel like we can bond and talk before they go off to school all day, right? So for me, from between 6 and 7:30, I'll be doing a combination of those things. I do not do all the things every day. So I don't work out every single day, right? So some days I'm able to swap my workout for maybe a course that I purchased, and I'm going to watch 30 minutes of the person that is training. Okay. So that's what I'm kind of doing when I'm figuring out my rhythm and my routine. Now, let's talk about step number 2, which is preparing for the worst case scenario. So, yes, you may be jealous that my kids are going back to school, but trust me, I know that that may not be long term. I know that it may be a week or who knows. Or I may find out like tomorrow it's back virtual. Okay. So, I really want you to be preparing for your worst case scenario. In case it happens, you will feel so much more prepared. Okay. So, what is my worst case scenario? What are some things happening? So, worst case scenario is the kids are home 5 days a week. I was not a stay-at-home mom for a reason. And that to me is like, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. So let's say worst case, they are now virtual 5 days a week. Now I start to plan and map out. Now, I don't plan this as detailed as my real case scenario because you don't want to go planning, plan B and C and D and E to such extreme that you've wasted so much time and energy. So for me, I put more time into what is actually happening starting on next week, Monday. And then I put some thought and some like feelers out there for some ideas. I'll share with you in a minute what we're doing to make sure we feel prepared. But again, we don't have everything done and like all the T's crossed and I's dotted and all of that. Okay. So what will change if the kids all of a sudden are home with us all day? So first of all, my 6 a.m. wake up is turning into 5, which stinks. And I did this right when COVID started. And honestly, getting an extra hour every day, having 5 hours a week extra was really, really helpful. So as much as I don't want to wake up at 5, I will if the kids go virtual. So I'll go to bed at 9, which I probably go to bed around 9:30 or 10 right now. So I'll be going to bed a little bit earlier to accommodate for waking up a little earlier. I have to sneeze. Oh, of course. This is so awkward. Okay. Is it going? Is it not? Okay. I have allergies and I've been sneezing like crazy. So anyway, the point is, what will that look like? And I will want to wake up earlier to make sure I can squeeze in probably an extra hour of work before the kids are up. Does that make sense? You may need to make some accommodations too. Now, you heard me say I'm not cutting an hour of sleep. I am just making sure I go to bed earlier, pretty much cutting out a little bit of TV to then get to work a little extra. Okay. Now, I already made sure this was something I did purposely on my schedule as I was planning fall. My Tuesdays and Fridays are wide open. I am not putting appointments on Tuesdays and Fridays because if they go virtual, from last time, I can tell you that Kent is not going to do 5 days a week. He pretty much did 5 days a week, maybe 4 days. I probably did like one every so often. And it was too much for him. That is not what he wants to do. It was stressful. I get it. Like, I am not meant to stay home all day with my children either, and neither is he. So I have said to him, I will take 2 of the 5 days if you can take 3. So Tuesdays and Fridays, if I would need to be teaching them every single Tuesday, Friday morning, I don't have to worry about my calendar. It will be clear. Okay. Now, here's the best part. If the worst case scenario doesn't happen and they get to stay at school, I will have my Tuesdays and Fridays wide open to work on all of the things that I want to work on. That's exciting. Okay. So, do you see how, like, having these strategies in place, nothing's hurting me? It's just overly preparing me for whatever comes my way. Make sense? Okay, so that's that. So Tuesdays and Fridays, we're gonna keep that open. The next thing I did was I already talked to my mom who lives close to us, and I said, listen, is there any way you would take them for a full day, whether she virtual schools them or we just don't do school that day and maybe I pick it up. Last time we did that, I would say to Kat, don't do it today. I will do this with them on Saturday, which is fine because I want to spend time with them on Saturday anyway. So we just kind of like rearranged our schedule. So I basically said to my mom, take them for a full day. And then could you take them for half a day, another day, knowing that Kent has some time to like get his work done, not be with the kids 24/7, right? And then there's a little bit more balance because we were really stressed. I was feeling guilty that he was with the kids all day. He was feeling guilty that I was working all day and then immediately switching to being with the kids all night. And it felt like too much, right? So we're trying to figure out what didn't work last time to fix it for this time. Okay. Agreed, Mary Jo, we can never be too prepared. Okay. So then that's one of the maybe we've got going on. My mom will be able to do that. The second piece is my studios, they might be offering some sort of day camp or even a virtual learning hub where I would already, like, I kept thinking of me as a parent. What would I want? So we're creating something right now at our studios to be open during the day to accommodate for parents who need to work and need to get the kids out of the house. So it's possible that I'll be creating my own product to solve my own problem and send them there every afternoon, which would be amazing. So we would homeschool them in the morning, and then every afternoon they would go to the studio if they have to. I will tell you this. I network with hundreds of dance studios all across the country. This is something we're all talking about because we all have empty buildings during the day. We all work with children for a living. We definitely can do something like this. So if you're like, that sounds amazing, but I don't live by you, check out your dance studios because there may be somebody doing something very, very similar to what we're talking about. Okay. All right. So that's that. So, and then again, maybe I'll have one full day where I'm not working during the day, but I work on Saturday mornings or something like that. Okay. So you may have to adjust your schedule. Like, oh, I don't want to work on weekends. I don't either, but this is a very different situation. And I just keep telling myself, this is temporary. This is not permanent. We can get through this. This is temporary. Even if it's just the year, we'll be fine. Okay. So the more you can say stuff like that, the easier it's going to be to get through it. Okay. Now, another thing that I did that I want you to think about. I enjoy going live. Like I'm here right now for fun, hanging out with you guys. I like this. This is fun for me. But I am not going to be able to do as much of this if my kids are home nonstop. It is a lot more difficult to go live, have set schedules where like, oh, they think I'm coming live today at this time and having to hurry and show up, right? So I also like to do a lot of things where I show up live for a whole week straight, like every day at a certain time. I realized that is not going to probably be a possibility. So what I want to do is I've been preparing already. I pulled off some of my live trainings that I normally would have had on the calendar. And I'm asking myself, what can I do that is more evergreen, meaning they can watch at any time, more on demand. Like you could go on Netflix right now and pick whatever show you wanted to watch and watch it now versus like, no, it starts tonight at 7:00, right? So for me, I'm really trying to assess like, where are the things that are going to like really hurt us or not be accommodating to our new schedule? And what are some things that I could still run my business a little bit more passively, bring in automated revenue, right? And be able to do both. So that's kind of where my mind is and where I'm heading and what I'm thinking of. So I've been doing a lot of prep work in the month of August and continuing to do it in the month of September, getting me into that situation where I don't have to go live or I don't have to do whatever it is because schedules will look a little bit different. Okay. Yes. Okay. I love this, you guys. Always need to have some harmony. I grew up hearing from dad, prepare for the worst, hope for the best. You will. And yes. And here's the thing. That absolutely is the case. Like we are preparing right now for the worst and we are hoping for the best and we are absolutely just moving forward, right? So I want you to do the same thing. Yes, if your morning routine is important to you, ask yourself, are there some shifts? What needs to happen? There is going to probably be some sacrifice in this time. Like this is a certain season where sacrifice looks a little bit different, right? Your business looks a little bit different. So don't get so caught up in like, well, no, I don't do this or I don't want to do that. You may not want to, right? It may not be the business you've set up, but you may have to make that temporary sacrifice for long-term success, okay? We're all making those sacrifices. So it just, you have to ask yourself, like, what do I need to do to be agile, right? What do I need to do to continue to adapt to what is happening and adapting quickly, okay? So if you have not yet grabbed my new book, The Implementation Code, if you like strategies like we're just talking about of scheduling and planning and organizing and all of that, go grab this. It's talking about ways to actually get things done. What better time to read this book than COVID 2020, right? So anyway, check this out. Go to implementationcode.co/free book. It is free right now. You just pay the shipping and handling. Yes, we ship internationally as well. So go grab it while it's still free. And I really know you guys, people are starting to get this already and saying they need this right now. You probably do too. All right, you guys, thank you for joining me. Tomorrow I'm going to be going live on my fan page, Facebook fan page at Stacy Tuschel. I'm actually going to be talking about what to do and how to like jump on social media and know what to say. People will be like, how do you jump on so frequently and so often and actually have content and know what to talk about or know what to post every day on social media? I've got a bunch of strategies to make sure that does not happen to you again. All right, guys, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow on my fan page, 11:30 Central.